So mobile friendliness is a concept that has been around for a long time, but was originally talked about from an SEO perspective by Google in about 2015, maybe the end of 2014. And it was a push to encourage websites to make their content mobile friendly, especially in a UX kind of way. And so they were looking at UX signals that Google can perceive when it crawls. So they're looking for button size, text size, responsive design, or at least semi-responsive design. They're looking for signals that the content would work if it was presented on a phone. And so to encourage people, webmasters, to update their content to fit Google's mobile-friendly guidelines, they started showing a little symbol or sometimes text in the search result to say if a site was mobile-friendly, according to Google. And they only did this in mobile search results, but it did encourage mobile searchers to click on the mobile search result. So it was a positive CTR correlation, but also Google said that over time, sites that didn't have the mobile friendliness qualification, didn't pass the mobile friendliness test, would start to decrease in rankings. Google also at that time published a test called the Mobile Friendliness Test, where you could put in your URL to see how Google was perceiving it and if Google considered it mobile friendly, and if not, what you would have to do to make it mobile friendly. Since then, Google has updated this mobile friendliness test to do a little bit more, especially focused on JavaScript. But JavaScript and CSS were one of the factors with being mobile friendly. Previously, some SEOs had hidden JavaScript and CSS because they figured Google didn't need it to crawl and index the site and that it might slow Google down. And so they were blocking it in robots text. And one of the main things that Google wanted webmasters to do to get the mobile friendliness insignia was to unblock those resources. These became more and more important for Google. And as we know now, Google does care about CSS because it changes the way the site is presented. From the CSS, Google can tell if a site is responsive or not. And if it's a good responsive experience, they can kind of guess at that. They can also see the size of font if you're using CSS to hide content way off the side of the page or make text really teeny tiny so that users can't read it, or to color text white on white, stuff like that. People were using CSS to trick Google. So they wanted to put a stop to that. But then also Google wanted to be able to crawl everyone's JavaScript so that they could figure out what they would need to know when they started doing a much better job of crawling and indexing content and links within JavaScript. So to do that, they had to say, hey, everyone, open up your JavaScript. We want to see it. We want to try and crawl it. And from there, they were able to build out their JavaScript crawling capability further.